Hi everyone, I'm recording a little late today. I had a lot of stuff to take care of. Let me see here. Woo. So I'm in Veronica's space again. We are going to start by lining our chakras. Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, Christ consciousness. Get them all balanced over that root chakra. And then clear the energy lines. Take a sip of water real quick. How's everyone doing? Good day. Sunny here in Baltimore, cold and windy, but it's beautiful. Start with the root chakra going up. Interesting. And down. Okay. The energy line going up. Got stuck at the root chakra, which is odd. And then, let me put it here because I really don't feel like holding my hand out. And then going down was a mess. It's very hard for me to even feel the energy today. But I gave it my best shot. Where are my reading glasses? Okay, I'm going to start with the root chakra. Meditation and exercises, blaze through them, and then go on to our sacral chakra. Okay, grounding meditation, and it's warm in here. I left the heater on purpose this morning before I left the house because it was cold, but now it's warm down here. Take off my sweater. I also have been running around this morning, so just got done taking my dog for a walk. Okay. Find a comfortable chair. Or edge of the bed. Sit with your back straight. Both feet planted firmly on the floor. Take a deep breath. Feel your body expand and contract as you breathe. Feel your legs. Feel your feet and the floor they are placed on. Feel the solidity of that contact. Feel a chair beneath you. Feel the weight of your body in it, and how the force of gravity naturally pulls you downward, easily, soothingly. Bring your attention to your feet. Ever so slightly, press your feet into the floor and feel your legs engage with the earth plane. Do not let the pressure become tension, so that the muscles in your legs tighten, but feel a subtle current of energy running from your first chakra down into the earth. Try to keep this current going as we move on to grounding the upper body. As you tune into the weight of your body, you will gradually become aware of a center of gravity at the base of your spine. Feel how your body is now resting on that point and focus on it as if it were an anchor holding you down. When you feel anchored at this spot, you can begin to integrate the rest of your body into your grounding. Tune into your torso, focusing your attention on the central channel of your body. This is not the spine, which is closer to the back of the body, but that part of our internal core that is aligned over the center of gravity. Take a moment to align the top of your head, your throat, your heart, your stomach, and abdomen, all the other chakras, with the base chakra on which they rest. Take a deep breath and allow this alignment to gently settle in and balance over the first chakra. We have now established a vertical column of energy. Imagine this column as a great cord, preferably of a deep red color, running from far above your head through the center of your body and down into the ground, passing directly through the empty space between your seat and the floor. Take special time to make sure this cord runs through your anchor point in the first chakra and continues not only to the ground but deep down into it. If you can, visualize it going all the way down into the center of the earth, with the earth's gravitational field pulling it down into its core. Spend some time at this point checking to keep all the parts going. The feet slightly pressing into the floor, the chakras aligned directly over each other, the red column of energy pulling us downward, the harmonious feel of gravity rooting us, anchoring our physical and subtle bodies together. Gradually let your torso sway forward and back, side to side, and then in a circular motion over the first chakra point. Notice how the point at the base of your spine does not move, yet the body moves around it. We want to be able to keep our grounding even in movement, and this allows the body to practice this skill. Allow excess tension to drain off into the ground, still keeping the feet slightly pressed onto the floor, then return to stillness once again. Okay, now we're going to do our yoga poses. Knee to chest pose. Ow. Sorry, I'm having a cramp in my, right below my breast. Ow. I'm gonna try to breathe it out. Oh, right there. There it goes. Okay. Okay, now bridge pose. Pushing up. And down. time. And lower. Nice. Flipping over to locust. Okay. Each foot to groin. I'm going to show you that my back is not curved. I'm trying to keep it flat as possible. Leg. Both legs. Once more. Okay. What's next? Up on our toes. Movement exercises. Taking another sip of water. Up on the toes. Can't see it, but trust me, I'm up there. Establishing the energy line that runs down into the earth's core. And down. And up. Ooh! And down. And up. And down. Good. Then we're gonna do stand your ground pose. Stand your motherfucking ground. Good. Elephant pose. Okay. Your feet up in the air. Flexed feet. We're ripping through these. relax the body a little bit before I turn into the sacral chakra. I'm going to do the meditation today first, then we'll do the study. Okay? I'm going to start with laying down today because I've already been very active today, so I think I'm going to listen to my body. Body's telling me to start by laying down. Okay. Opening meditation. Quietly, you lie at peace, alive against the earth that is still, solid, unmoving. You are still, yet for every ebb and flow of breath, there is movement in your body. There is change from inner to outer, from outer to inner. The path between the worlds is woven through you. The path of change. As your chest rises, the breath moves through your nose, throat, and lungs. It ebbs and flows as evenly and as gracefully as waves upon the shore. Now just close your eyes for a minute and imagine those waves crashing on the shore. It's pretty beautiful. Back and forth, empty and full, in and out. Inside, your heart beats. Your blood pulsates. A river of life connects each and every cell within you. Blood flows outward. Blood flows in toward the center again. Your cells expand and contract, ever reproducing, dying. Wiggle a finger back and forth. Impulses of nerves run down your arm. Your breathing continues. In, out, in, out. Deep in your belly, you become aware of a warm glow of orange pulsing through your pelvis, through your abdomen, through your genitals. Pulsations of orange light move in rivulets down your legs, up again through your thighs, through your belly, up through your back, to nourish all of you. You are alive. You are a wave of motion. Nothing within you is truly still. Nothing around you is still. Everything is constantly changing at each and every moment. Every sound. We were just given a perfect example of that. You can hear the water in the background from the neighbor's washer, I believe. And the heater making different sounds. Every ray of light, every breath is an oscillation. Back and forth, constantly moving, swaying, flowing. a flow of constant change, changing every moment from the last. By the time you finish this meditation, both you and the world will be different. Within your body, there is a river of change. Find the subtle inner flow of movement and thought, moving up, down, around, and through. Find them and follow them. Allow them to gain momentum, removing obstacles by easing any tension you may find. Exaggerate their flow with outward movements. Sway in your chair, rock back and forth, creating rhythmic movement. Let the rhythm build until you feel like getting up, even with this book in your hand. Get up and move around. Oh. Now, where am I? Swaying on your feet, circling with your hips, bending at the knee, back and let's see here. Always keeping the flow even and steady, remembering roots below. You sway back and forth, up and down. In and out, expanding, yet ever returning to your core self again. You move with the flow of water, sometimes slow like a great river, sometimes quickly like a spring in a stream, sometimes languishy like a quiet lake, sometimes passionately like the waves of the sea. Rise an arm and imagine water flowing down through it. Feel the wet fluid run down your back, your buttocks, and your toes. And the other arm as well. Here comes the water down, down, down. Think of water as it flows from the sky, caressing the mountains, running in rivulets to the various pools. Imagine water running down you, caressing your body, running rivulets down your pelvis and legs, down to the earth below. You are the rain as you fall effortlessly from heaven to earth. You are many droplets as your thoughts fall from your mind in tiny movements. The tides within you grow and move faster as they plunge downward, cascading over pinnacles of earth. Then slowly as they slither and serpentine across the great valleys of your fertile fields, until as one you ebb and flow with the tides of the sea, pulled by the moon in its dance of dark and light. The oceans vast and deep abound with life. Your passion reaches outward, spills onto the shore, and returns again within you. You drink in all the changes around you, pulling its movement through you as your life ebbs and flows in and out. You breathe. From the vast depths of ebb and flow you reach, you touch, you find your body. Sensation flows into your hands, across your skin. Sensation known to none but you. Your hands move across curves of flesh, following lines of movement, you sway to the sensuality of your touch. Inside you rise emotions, churning, yearning, flowing, bubbling. They reach and touch and rise, becoming movements. Waves change, the water flows within, without. You are alone, yet others are around you. They too ebb and flow and change and touch and yearn. Your movement flows to join them, desiring to unite, to merge, to move towards something new. Your hands long to touch, to pull the oceans closer, to feel the flow of other tides mixing with your own. Your belly heaves. Your sex awakes. You thirst for touch and you reach beyond yourself. You find your other, different yet the same. Exploring, you begin to merge. The movements build within you, exalting you, expressing you, caressing you. Your passions swell in ocean waves to crash upon the shore and satisfy your needs. The waters ebb and flow, nurture, cleanse, and heal as they flow with each yearning, each movement, each breath, static and uniting. You merge, complete within yourself, and completed once again with another. You dance and rise and fall and rest. You are water, the essence of all forms, yet formless. You are the point from which each direction flows, and you are the flow. You are the one that feels. You are the one that moves. You are the one that embraces the other. Shall we flow together and join our souls in this journey down the river of life? Shall we flow together to the sea? I love doing that one. Okay. Once again, my back could use a little support, so I'm going to sit in my little chair here. Okay. Prop up my camera. About to drop my jewelry display right down onto the gosh darn ground. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. Ooh. This chapter is called The Pleasure Principle. We all like that. They sell it enough to us on mainstream media and TV and stuff. Let's find out what it's really about, shall we? Every perfect action is accompanied by pleasure. It's kind of cool. I'm just going to say that again. Every perfect action is accompanied by pleasure. By that, you can tell that you ought to do it. Interesting. I wonder. It's a thought, right? Every perfect action is accompanied by pleasure. By that, you can tell that you ought to do it. I'm not totally convinced, but let's see here. The human organism, as well as other living creatures, has a natural inclination to move toward pleasure and away from pain. I believe that to be true. Freud called this the pleasure principle, like the instinct to survive. So pleasure is not just sexual, right? It's just Like when I go to the gym in the morning and I'm on the treadmill and a really dope song comes on, I get a lot of pleasure out of that. Let's see here. Like the instinct to survive. It is an innate biological pattern closely related to the survival instinct of the first chakra. Pain is an indication that something is threatening the organism, while pleasure generally indicates that the situation is safe, freeing our attention for other things. The pleasure principle extends far beyond the realm of mere survival, however. Many things are pleasurable that do not directly assist our survival at all. In some cases, they may actually be detrimental to it, such as spending money on frivolous items or activities, or ingesting harmful drugs. These activities may deplete our resources, but in the body and both in the body and the checkbook. In other cases, pleasure enables us to move more deeply into the temple of the body and, feeling fulfilled, have a foundation for power, love, creativity, and meditative concentration, which are all aspects of the chakras above. Pleasure, as befits the duality of the second chakra, is a two-edged sword. It's an easy chakra to get trapped in, yet the trap can result from avoiding pleasure as much as in indulging in it. The balancing of any chakra requires opening to its particular energy without becoming excessively attached. Pleasure and emotional sensations are processed in a lower section of the brain called the limbic system. The limbic system controls the hypothalamus, which in turn controls the hormonal levels and the regulation of the autonomic, involuntary, nervous system functions, such as heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing. Therefore, soothing stimulation to this part of the brain actually helps regulate and relax these hormones and processes. And there's some indication that it actually helps us live longer and stay healthier. It has been suggested that the segregation in humans between the cerebral cortex, conscious thought centers, and the limbic system has resulted in self-destructive and violent tendencies in modern humans. The connection between the cortex and the limbic system is conducive to grace of movement, as there is no separation of mind and body to check movements and impulses, which can make them overly controlled or awkward. This segregation is non-existent in other animals. Pleasure invites us to expand, while pain generally makes us contract. If we are to expand from the fixed form of the material world into limitless consciousness, pleasure may be one of the first steps along that path, inviting consciousness to travel through the entire nervous system as well as to reach out toward others. In addition, pleasure invites surrender, which is a necessary process for spiritual awakening. Pleasure helps the mind and body establish better communication. Through pleasure, we learn to relax and release tension. Impulses then flow freely throughout the whole organism without fear of suppression. Gradually, these impulses create rhythmic, coherent patterns, soothing to the whole nervous system. Pleasure allows us to tune into our senses. It is emphasized in some Buddhist and Hindu belief systems that both pleasure and the senses are misleading, that through sensation we deprive ourselves of knowing the true nature of reality. Yet the senses are the very extension of that consciousness that seeks to know. If our senses truly deprived us of reality, would we not all be better off blind, deaf, and tasteless? Is this not senseless instead of sensible? Our subtler senses may allow us to see the inner planes, but the dulling or repression of the gross senses is no way to achieve this. Extrasensory perception is only sensation in its most refined aspect. How else do we become sensitive? As Alan Watts wrote, aesthetic spirituality is a symptom of the very disease which it intends to cure. Interesting. Aesthetic spirituality is a symptom of the very disease which it intends to cure. Sensation is a valuable information source for all levels of consciousness. It provides the raw data that eventually becomes information, stored and analyzed by the brain. Like, for example, I'm rubbing my fingers through my hair, and it's allowing me, believe it or not, to concentrate on the words I'm reading. That is all sensation and stimulation. It feels good. My hair is soft. It feels good on my head. And it soothes my heart and my mind, and it allows me to focus. A lot of times kids in school get in trouble for doodling. But I know for me, and I know for raising a child with special needs, although he didn't doodle, he didn't have the fine motor skill ability to do that. I worked in para-education classrooms, and not to stereotype, but autism is one for sure. Doodling is a sensation that allows a student to focus, or students with ADHD, attention dialed into a higher dimension. Not mine. I did not make that up. I heard it. I'm passing it out. I think it's brilliant. But anyway, back to where we were left off. That through sensation we deprive ourselves of knowing the true nature of reality, yet the senses are the very extension. Oh, I just read that. Okay. Sensation is a valuable information source for all levels of consciousness. It provides the raw data that eventually becomes information stored and analyzed by the brain. Ignoring bodily sensations cuts off from the valuable feelings and emotions that play a part in transferring information to the brain and in moving psychic and psychological energy through the body. Sensations are the building blocks for our feelings and emotions. Without them, we are lifeless and disconnected. Pleasure and sensation are essential features of the second chakra. If desire is the seed of movement, then pleasure is the root of desire. And sensation is the medium of pleasure. Pleasure is essential for the health of the body, the rejuvenation of spirit, and the healing of our personal and cultural relationships. Unfortunately, we are taught to be aware of pleasure, that it's a dangerous temptress waiting to lure us away from our true path. We are taught to repress our need for pleasure, and in so doing, repress our natural bodily impulses, and once again, segregate mind and body. We don't easily allow ourselves enjoyment of even the simple pleasures. Time for a little extra sleep, a leisurely walk, comfortable clothing. These stringent measures arise from the mind, but seldom from the body. We then may experience a backlash in our emotions. Ooh. So that was that chapter. I'm very excited. The next one is emotions. Maybe I'm just going to read that one too because it's very short. It's only like 1 page long. Emotions, from the Latin movere, or to move, and meaning out, promote the evolution of consciousness through the body. When we emote, we are moving energy out of the unconsciousness through the body and into the conscious mind. This flow of consciousness charges the body, cleanses it, and heals it. It is a movement of our life force through which we achieve change. We are back to the basic elements of the second chakra, movement and change. In a proverbial child, emotional expression is the only language spoken or understood. The only means for a child to express his inner state. When emotions are appropriately mirrored by adult caretakers, a child forms a reasonable emotional identity. The emotional identity enables us to identify different emotion states later in life, both in ourselves and others. Now, isn't that a bitch? If you don't know how to do it yourself, how do you teach your child how to do it? And it's not something that's promoted in our educational institutions, that's for dang sure. So we know how to do it. It's our job to teach others, I think. And if we don't know how to do it, and we don't know anyone else who knows how to do it, we have to try and find a way. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this video, this channel, this YouTube channel, because there has to be resources made available for people who were never taught emotional regulation. Okay, so the chakras, working with the chakras, have helped me in my past. And they're helping me again. Let's see here. Got off a little bit on a tangent there. This emotional identity enables us to identify different emotional states later in life, both in ourselves and others. Emotions are inherently tied in with movements. Like when a child gets angry, or sometimes even an adult, and they stomp their feet, or grown men slam doors, or grown women, not just men, slam doors. I know I have a tendency, in my unhealthy emotional state, if I feel I'm being attacked or unfairly accused, I put up walls and I will leave, and you'll never hear from me again. And that's not healthy either. But you also have to have a healthy space to be able to express what you're feeling without being attacked for having your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's not healthy either. There has to be a safe space when engaging with other people and allowing for one person to express how they feel and the other person to receive it without taking it personally. And then the other person being able to express themselves without the other person taking it personally. Anyway, we repress feelings by restricting movement, and conversely, movement can free the emotional holding that causes chronic tension. We can think of the basis of emotions as wanting to move away from that which is painful and towards that which is pleasurable. Emotions are complex, instinctual reaction to pleasure and pain. Instinctual reaction to pleasure and pain. They begin in the unconscious and, through movement, are allowed to come into consciousness. To block an emotion, we restrict movement. Then the emotion may remain in the unconscious, meaning we are unaware of it. Yet still, it wreaks havoc in our lives. It is acting from unconscious motivations that so often gets people into trouble. It takes energy to repress emotion. So releasing emotions releases tension if done appropriately. Absence of tension creates a harmonic flow within the body and mind. This creates pleasure of an even deeper level, allowing deeper connection with others. The suppression of primary pleasures creates a need for overindulgence, turning pleasure into pain. Pain is an indication that we are going in the wrong direction. The suppression of pleasure creates a deprivation in the body that demands more of our consciousness than it deserves. Only through satisfaction and resolution can our awareness evolve safely to broader levels. It is said of Kama, the Hindu god equivalent to Eros. Kama is worshipped by the yogis, for he alone, when pleased, can free the mind from desire. Pleasure and emotions are the root of desire. Through desire, we create movement. Through movement, we create change. Consciousness thrives on change. This is the essence and function of the second chakra. So that's our study for today. And tomorrow, we're going to read about sexuality.